Here we go again. The Cowboys are climbing that roller coaster that they go through pretty much every season. This time, another victory, 17-3 over the division rival Philadelphia Eagles. This is KD Drummond of bloggingtheboys.com and SBN Blogging the Boys, here to give you your scintillating, exciting game recap, complete with all the highlights that you're looking for. This game was undoubtedly all about the Cowboys defense as they came through, stopping the vaunted Chip Kelly offense. Before the game started, everybody wanted to talk about put all your Cowboys and all your Eagles in your fantasy football lineups. It's going to be an offensive explosion. The over-under was set to 56 points on the game. None of that happened as the Cowboys defense completely shut the Eagles down. And it was all at the hands of Monty Kiffin, who prior to this, everybody wanted to talk about the way that Chip Kelly's offense at Oregon always dogged Kiffin's defense at USC. Everybody realizes now that college and the NFL are two completely different stories. This is the first time that a Chip Kelly offense has not scored a touchdown in his entire coaching career. That's what the Montanelli did. The line was playing without DeMarcus Ware. He was out with his quad strain. Didn't matter. Jason Hatcher is a man amongst boys, got another sack on the game, number 6 on his season, 22 on his career, moved him into 20th place for the Cowboys all-time sack leader. Also joined by George Selvey, who had a sack and a half, and they harassed Nick Foles game in, game out. 3 sacks for the Cowboys on the game. Also added 3 interceptions, which really should have been 5 if it weren't for some unlucky calls by the referee. Now, the first one was when, after making a beautiful breakup on what would have been a touchdown pass to Deshaun Jackson, J.J. Wilcox almost got his first career interception when Jason Avant dove for the ball, tipped it up in the air, Wilcox grabbed it, raced out the end zone, but the referees allowed the challenge to happen, and they somehow claimed that they could see visual evidence that the ball hit the ground before it popped up into the air. I don't believe it, you don't believe it, but that's just kind of the way that the game was going when it came to the Cowboys and the referees. Now, later in the fourth quarter, Bruce Carter intercepted a pass and started to race it back, but that was nullified because the Cowboys were called for offsides when newly signed Jason Vega off of the practice squad. He actually had 2 offsides on 4 plays, so he's probably headed back to the practice squad. But other than that, it was all good for the Cowboys defense. The secondary played great. Brandon Carr, he had an interception. He was shutting down Deshaun Jackson. Orlando Scandrick, Morris Claiborne, they had good games. They, like I said, the front 7 harassed Nick Foles. They forced the Eagles into going 4 for 18 on 3rd down for the game. They shut down LaShawn McCoy, who for my money is probably the most explosive, dynamic player in the NFL on offense. He only had 55 yards on the ground, 3.1 yards a carry. The Cowboys kept the Eagles to only 3.7 yards per play for the entire game. Now, the game wasn't without offense. Tony Romo still did his thing. He found his new favorite targets. Not only did he go to Dez Bryant, giving Dez Bryant 8 catches for 110 yards, but he also found Terrence Williams for a touchdown for the 3rd straight game. Williams has been a beast over the last 3 games, starting with the Denver contest. Now he's on pace now for 60 catches on the season, 860 yards, 7 touchdowns. But as you know, he really wasn't doing much in the first couple games of the season. So he could be in tune for having like a Laurent Robinson type of season for the Dallas Cowboys. Very excited to see what the combination of Travis Frederick and Terrence Williams have done with that trade back from the 18th pick to the 31st and the 3rd rounder. I know San Francisco's happy with getting the safety Reed, but Dallas is ecstatic with the combination of guys that they got. Now, Romo did have a couple bad plays on the stat sheet. He threw an interception at the end of the first half, which was really a Hail Mary, so that really doesn't count as saying it was a bad Romo play. And then later on in the game, he threw an interception where he was going to Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley was open, but Philip Tanner ran the wrong route. He should have cut outside. He cut inside, brought his defender with him. They undercut the route, interception. It goes on Romo's ledger, but you saw Romo telling Tanner what he did wrong. Even after the game in the press conference, Coach Garrett explained that this was really not an interception that was on Romo. On the positive side, Romo did become the NFL's leading passer over the first 100 games of his career. Congratulations to Romo for reaching 100 starts. But he now holds the NFL record for most passing yards in 100 games. And also, this was his 20th consecutive game with a touchdown pass. So even though you might not know it, Romo's balling. 2nd game of the season with over 300 yards. All in all, very excited to see what this Cowboys team in general is doing. If the defense is coming along like it is, they've only given up 1 touchdown in the last 2 games, and the teams are playing are potent offenses. Redskins hung up 45 points on the Bears today, on the Bears. And the Eagles had scored 30 points in 4 of their 6 games on the season, including their last 2. So these aren't, chopped liver offenses that the Cowboys are now shutting down. So we should all be very excited. Joseph Randle came in for DeMarco Murray, who's out with his injury. He had 93 total yards, some nice runs, some nice catches out of the backfield, averaged 9.3 yards per reception. Cole Beasley was everywhere. He was a third down monster. He made some great catches. He looks like Romo's security blanket. Witten got in the action. The only person missing really is Miles Austin, and we know what's going on with him. 7 targets over the last 2 games, no receptions. Looks like he's struggling to come back from this hamstring injury. And all in all, the Cowboys aren't really missing him, fortunately. So there was no need for any special teams magic today. Cowboys offense, Cowboys defense did it all on their own. Very excited about the prospects for the season now that they're in sole possession of first place, 4-3 on the season, 3-0 in the NFC East, and they have the Detroit Lions out of the NFC North. We're traveling up to Ford Field to face Megatron and Matthew Stafford next week. Don't forget to check out bloggingtheboys.com for all of your coverage on the Cowboys, and also follow me on Twitter at KDP10for10, KDP10FOR10. Don't forget about subscribing to this channel. Hit the little subscribe button over there in the window. And my podcast is every Wednesday night live, 9 p.m., blogtalkradio.com/Cowboys Crunch Time. Also available for downloads on iTunes. KD Drummond, salute.